Welcome back to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here in MLB The Show 23, where we have just ended spring training, but we finished 13 and 14 in the spring, but don't really pay attention to that. In the offseason, if you missed it, we went and made a few big changes, most of which are coaches. We completely gutted our entire coaching staff. So we have all new coaches, including a legend here, a third base coach, Tommy Lasorda. So we have these guys for 3 years, and they're all A attribute grade and have strengths and positives of what I would like to work on for this team. And we also went out and made some free agent acquisitions, the most of which Jack Flaherty, new ace pitcher for the Orioles, 28 years old. In his 6 seasons, he has a combined 46 and 33 average, all for St. Louis. And looking to improve on his 3.07 ERA that he had last year, 3.8 WAR. So he is hoping to bring a big change combined with Eric Lauer. And if Grayson Rodriguez can get his things going, this looks to be a very dangerous front of the rotation. We brought in Kevin Plawecki to be maybe a backup or third string emergency catcher. Good contact, good defensive skills, still hits fairly well at 33 years old and can come in and be a role player for us. Brought in Dominic Smith to be our AAA first baseman and just another bat if we need to call someone up. 28 years old, looking to maybe get that 66 overall up to that B potential where it should be. But he's a pretty solid left-handed bat in the lineup and a definite upgrade from Lewin Diaz at AAA. We went out and got Luis Guillorme to back up at third base. I just didn't believe that Jordan Westburg was quite ready to back up at that position, but brings great contact against the righty, good contact against the lefty, great fielding skills, hits for average, a very good utility player, and has some second base and shortstop utility. I tried to get everyone a decent amount of at-bats in the spring, so at least 20-something, 30 at-bats for the players that matter, and we had a very good spring out of our starters. And one surprise out of the spring is Jorge Mateo, who in 63 at-bats has a .317 average, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Very good spring out of him, and he might just find himself a starting gig whenever the season starts. Another surprise, Austin Hayes hitting 300, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, and a WAR of .3. So him and Mateo are definitely playing much better than last season. And someone who's not playing very well, Anthony Santander, negative .9 WAR through the spring. 179 average, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 12 strikeouts to only 2 walks. He has had a horrible month, and that has been mainly as our starting DH. Guys like Kjerstad, Westburg, Ortiz, they didn't have great springs either, and Colton Cowser is someone who I was hoping would have one. I was looking at him maybe to make his debut this season to start off. He has good fielding ratings, good speed, a decent hitter. He hit very well last season in AAA, and I was hoping to give him an opportunity here to start year 2, but he just did not produce in the spring, and I am going to send him down to AAA to start off, and we still might see him up in the big leagues this year. And now we have to cut this roster down to 26 players, and we'll start as starting pitcher. Flaherty and Rodriguez didn't have great spring trainings, but the rest of our 3 starters did, and we're going to give Grayson Rodriguez this opportunity at the beginning of the season. So Kyle Bradish, DL Hall, Bruce Zimmerman, they will all be moving down into AAA. And we will see Solomon Wall in next episode, where we will get a start with him at AA. And out of the bullpen, Dylan Tate, Ken Giles, Aaron Ashby, all 3 still lead the way. Ashby didn't have a great spring, but we'll still stick with him. Darwinzon Hernandez is interesting. He still has not been able to produce that well at the major league level, so we'll straight send him back down to AAA. Maybe he can get it worked out this year, but his walk per 9 did go up last year, so you like to see that. He might wind up being traded at the deadline, but you guys let me know what you think about that and leave your feedback down in the comments. I believe Keegan Aiken and Tyler Wells have earned their spot just from their play last year, as well as their stats here in, maybe not Tyler Wells's, but Keegan Aiken played exceptional last year. He's had a great spring. He's earned it. And that brings it down to Tony Santillan, Joey Crable, and Ciano Perez. And I think first we're going to send Joey Crable down to AAA. He's a good hand to have, you know, in case we have an injury, someone we can definitely bring up and we've seen produce and can produce whenever he needs to. And we'll come back to making this decision whenever I see what the rest of our roster looks like. Closing pitcher, Felix Bautista, that pretty much stays the same. At catcher, for the time being, James McCann had a horrible spring, but we're going to let him stay up in the majors. If he doesn't work out his average or hitting woes that he's having right now, Plevecki is right there. He had 222 in the spring, so no slouch in that department. And then we'll also send Samuel Basallo down, who hit 120 at-bats. Ryan Mountcastle had a great spring, over 300 average, 5 home runs. Lewin Diaz did not, so he will be sent back down to AA, and he might find himself being traded towards the deadline as well. Abraham Toro played about as well as I was hoping for. 267, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. He did get an injury before spring training ended, so he might miss opening day. We'll have to see whenever we get to that. Percy Kutch will be starting in AA. We'll see a bit of him in episode 2 as well. Norby and Vavra round out AAA with Adam Hall and Paul Howell currently at AA. Ramon Urias comes back as the everyday third baseman. Luis Guillorme will back him up, and Jordan Westberg is going to be sent down to AAA once again. He made the debuting roster last year, actually got the start because of an injury to Urias, but he will be starting out in AAA. At shortstop, I believe we're going to send Joey Ortiz back down to AAA. And Jorge Mateo, I think, has found a spot as our everyday right fielder as long as he is producing as well as he is. We still have Jackson Holliday down here in AAA, seeing how he performs. He didn't perform all that well last season. Maybe had a 210 average, I believe, but we'll see how he does. And we might see him towards the end of the year with those September call-ups. In left field, Austin Hayes, 300 average through the spring, and Joe and Profar didn't play great, but they will still be making the big league club, as I'm not quite ready to call up some of these younger guys, such as Colton Cowser and McKenna, which both of those will be getting sent down to AAA. In right field, Santander had a poor spring, hitting under 180, not producing at all at the plate, and he is our everyday DH at the moment. Heston Kjerstad didn't produce either, but he is being sent down to AAA. And Kyle Stowers is surprisingly going to be making the team. He hit very well in spring training. 3 RBIs, 4 runs, 35 at bats, 286 average. I can live with that for a little bit, at least see what he has up here in the major leagues. He has a little bit of service time, 34 games where he hit 253, .3 WAR. Not too bad. And we have one more cut to make, and I think that we are going to send Perez down to AAA. It's a hard decision to make, but through 12 innings, he has 8 strikeouts, 8 walks. Tony Santillan, 7 strikeouts to 1 walk. I just feel like that's a little bit better of a strikeout to walk ratio, so we will roll with that going into opening day. And before we get into this opening day game, I did want to take a look at these top prospects, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prospects in the top 50. Some of these guys are guys that I added in free agency. Victor Benitez, Malcolm Beasley, and Robert Brown are all free agent acquisitions. Solomon Wall, we drafted him. Jackson Holliday was on the team, so the squad is looking up if, you know, these guys can actually make it into the major leagues. And we are here on opening day, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays in our home park. It's great to be here, and I'm trying something up a little bit different with our batting lineup. But first, we will see our new acquisition, Jack Flaherty, on the mound. 33 starts last year and a 12-8 record, looking to bring some of that winning attitude here to the Orioles. As his first pitch is flied into left field, and Austin Hayes is there for out number 1. Jack Flaherty's first out here as an Oriole, facing Santiago Espinal. See if this can be another one pitch at bat. And it won't be. Flaherty does have a bit of a long motion, so I'll try and save y'all a bit with the editing this time as he gets a strikeout of Santiago Espinal on 3 pitches. Up 2 strikes on Bichette, and we'll see if this slider can get him swinging or maybe looking. And it is the former end of the top of the first. And we'll be facing Alex Manoah on the mound. Very good season last year, 2.85 ERA. Almost 200 strikeouts. And like I said, I was wanting to try something new with the lineup this year. And we are starting off here. Adley Rutschman is leading off, the catcher. Not very fast, but he had our highest on-base percentage last season. So I figure, why not get the guy who gets on base the most, put him at the top of the lineup, and see what happens. He ended up hitting, I think, like 417 in the spring. That's what happens. And I am a bit behind, and looks like that's going to be an out. And Mullins grounds it up the middle, and that's a single. Great job by him to get on base, and we have a base runner. Mountcastle looking to advance the runner. Down the middle, fastball popped up into outfield, and that's an out. 2 out in the first. And batting fourth is Austin Hayes, who didn't have a good season at all last year, but in the spring he was absolutely killing it. And for that, he gets an opportunity here at the beginning of this season to earn back that spot at the top of the lineup. See how he plays. Maybe he can work himself into another contract. He is getting up there a bit in age. I believe this is his 28-year-old season. Ooh, that was a bad swing. But y'all leave your feedback in the comments of what y'all think about Austin Hayes and how he performed in the spring and maybe this game. Oh, and why did I swing at that? That was absolutely terrible. Here's hoping Flaherty can give me a bit of redemption, but it is against Vladimir Guerrero, so I might just be okay walking him. I mean, I don't want to give him anything to hit, but if he's going to swing at garbage, I'll just keep throwing garbage. And we get the strikeout, huge strikeout of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And we're facing George Springer now in the top of the second. Flaherty has pitched very well so far. Quick outs, and I think he has 3 strikeouts already. And Springer has worked this to a 3-1 count. We'll see if Flaherty can rein it back in a bit. Hit hard but foul. And we're just going to go with a knuckle curve here on 3-2 and see what happens. And we walk him on what, like 7 pitches or something? Facing Brandon Belt, trying to get this strikeout or maybe even a double play turned. And that'll be popped out of play. Popped into center field from Mullins, and that looks pretty routine as it is. And the second out of the second inning. It brings up the catcher Alejandro Kirk, the 7th hitter. So hopefully nothing too flashy out of him. We can get him out with no problem. And it is hit to Newcastle or Mountcastle for an out. Hoping to have a better season this year than last year. Anthony Santander steps in. As I stated earlier, horrible spring. But whenever I hit with him during spring training, he hit fairly well, as that's going to be flied out to the third baseman. That's a shame. But Ramon Urias has played well at all facets, spring training, during the season. Looking for him to be a bigger part for us this year. I am swinging wildly. And pops it up. Shallows right field and out. Gunnar Henderson is looking to have a better season than he had last year. He only hit .219 with 9 home runs, 39 RBIs, 125 strikeouts. Holy cow. So yeah, looking to have a much better season this year. And look to do it today against Alex Manoah, or get us started. Ooh, I should not have swung. Ooh, why did I swing at that again? Into the second. Luckily, Toronto hasn't done anything too dangerous offensively yet, as we get a strikeout there of Dalton Varsho. 4th strikeout of Flaherty in the top of the 3rd. Now facing Kevin Kiermaier. And that is a hit into left field. Hayes tracks it down, gets it into the cutoff, and Kiermaier has a double. First hit of Toronto. Now back top of the lineup to Whit Merrifield, who is down 0-2 right now, looking to get maybe a strikeout from him. And here comes the sinker that is held up. And get him swinging that time. Rutschman almost throws at the 3rd, but gets the out at first. 2 down. And the 5th strikeout of the day for Jack Flaherty. Now facing Santiago Espinal. You got to give me that one. Flaherty pitching from the stretch. Pitches a bit quicker, which is nice. And get him swinging on the knuckle curve. Middle of the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd, we have Jurickson Profar up, who is playing second base for the injured Abraham Toro. A little unfortunate we didn't get to see him this game, but Profar will fill in nicely. Oh, got me looking on this fastball on the outside corner. That's cheap. I was trying to be a little bit more patient, but here we have the number 9 hitter, Jorge Mateo, who had an amazing spring training. And looking to see if that transfers over into the season. If not, we might have to go out and find, an outfielder or a utility player who can play up to that level. And that's hit well, but popped up to center field, and Mateo was out. And back up to the top of the lineup, Adley Rutschman. And I know this hasn't been a very good offensive game so far, but I want to get everybody at least one series through the lineup before I start skipping around. Man, I thought that could have been a hit, but ends up being the 3rd out. Flaherty comes out pitching a very good game so far. Here is pitch number 40, and it's a ball, but only allowed 1 hit up to this point. Able to come back with a strike right there. We'll see if we can even up this count. And instead is popped up to right field, and the speed of Mateo helps out a ton over there where we had Santander last year, and he might have a little trouble getting to that ball. So I think overall defensively that makes a lot more sense for us, having Santander as the DH. We have a lot of speed in the outfield now between Mullins and Mateo, and it's a second out for Guerrero, who pops up to center. Now if we could just get, the hitting to go. If the hitting can be as well as our defense, we can make a run at the playoffs this season. We have what should be 3 very good starters in Jack Flaherty, Grayson Rodriguez, and Eric Lauer. Cole Irvin and Dean Kramer. Man, I don't know why I was just blanking on his name, but Cole Irvin and Dean Kramer, both of them pitching well. The bullpen, if they can keep up what they did last year, I don't see why this couldn't, this ball team couldn't win 60-70% of their games. Full count now to, who is this? Doesn't matter. Still only 1 hit for each of the teams today. See if maybe we can be a bit patient. Maybe work Alex Manoah's pitch count up a little bit. He's only at 27 pitches through 4 innings. That is absolutely abysmal. Or, well, I guess good for him, but terrible for us. As Mullins grounds out to first base. Here's Mountcastle, who I flied out to maybe left field with the first time. As I swing very late at the fastball. Oh, and even worse at the slider. What is that? And pop up the fastball. Wow. That was just a horrible at-bat in general. Jack Flaherty now facing Brandon Belt. 0 for 1 so far. I don't know if he got struck out last time, but Jack Flaherty now into the 5th inning. Starts out behind 2-0. That should have been a strike. But you know what? That's okay. We'll probably just cut our losses. Walk Brandon Belt. Get to the rest of the lineup. And that means the number 7 hitter, Alejandro Kirk, who gets struck out on 3 straight pitches. 8 strikeouts already for Jack Flaherty. Wow. Wow. We'll see if Dalton Varsho can fare any better. 1-2 now. And pops it up to Urias in foul territory. Now facing Kevin Kiermaier, who got the hit off of Flaherty. Toronto's only hit so far in this game. And that's into right field, but Mateo is there easily. Santander is up, so I'm going to do my best to be so patient. The most patient batter you've ever seen. I'm not going to swing until I get 2 strikes. Okay, I lied. Oh, I just can't help myself. All right, 0-1. Pitch was way low. All right, I was a little bit more on time for that. But 2 straight off-speed pitches. He's got to be coming with a fastball, right? Able to work this back to a 2-2 count. Oh, and he got me swinging at the perfect fastball. 5 strikeouts for Manoah. And we have Ramon Urias up now. At least Manoah's pitch count is getting a little bit better. He's at least into the 40s here in the 5th. Hit well by Urias, but I don't think that quite has enough. And it's caught. Good swing out of Ramon Urias, just didn't have enough behind it. Only an 86 mile per hour exit velocity. But we have Gunnar Henderson now, looking to at least get on the board in the hit department. That is hit off the hands, but drops into center field for a hit for Gunnar Henderson. Maybe we have a little bit of a 2-out rally coming here at the bottom of the lineup with the 8th batter, Jurickson Profar, in the box now. Gunnar Henderson has some speed. Do we try and steal? Well, he has a 0 steal rating, so, you know, maybe we hold off on that for now. But I would like to see Henderson steal a bit more this season. Down 0-2. And, wow. His circle changeup for me is just so hard to see. I don't know what it is. Flaherty is out there in the 6th. With his, what is this, the 3rd time? Yeah, the 3rd time through the order. Whit Merrifield is up. That's hit well into left center. Hayes chasing back, but out of his reach, and Merrifield has a double. Yeah, don't head to 3rd. So double for Whit Merrifield. First big hit that Flaherty's given up today. No big deal. I don't know how he went, but I'll take it. Profar with the stop, keeps it in front of him, and he gets him at first. Great play by Profar, even if he didn't make a clean catch. Still a great job by him. Staying with the ball and getting the out at first base. 1 out now, a runner at third, and Bo Bichette in the box. This is where strategy can play a role. Do we walk him or do we try and strike him out? Popped up to right field. Makeo catches it. Oh, I don't know why he didn't throw home, but see, Santander wouldn't make that play. Mateo was there. Great job. Great. The speed helps immensely. Ooh, and luckily we threw a sinker that just hung up in the zone, but Mullins is able to run in and catch it. I didn't think that was going to be that difficult. Number 9 hitter Jorge Mateo leads us off here in the 6th inning. And I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to lay off the bad pitches. I don't know what it is right now. I'm just not seeing the ball. That's a ball. Able to slow it down on the slider enough to make good or decent contact. 2-2 count now to Mateo. Oh, and swings through the fastball. That was at least a better at bat, right? And back to the unorthodox leadoff hitter, Adley Rutschman, who is 0 for 2. And I'm just not hitting at all well with this Baltimore team. God, what is happening? Is Alex Manoah that good? 8 strikeouts already for him in the 6th. Flaherty comes out to begin the 7th. He has pretty much earned it. Only threw 76 pitches so far. Is it possible to have an opening day complete game shutout from the new free agent acquisition starting pitcher? Is that the goal for the game? I mean, our offense is going to need to step it up a bit if that's going to happen, because I don't know if he'll be able to go more than 9 innings. Just my ability to hit with this offense has got me a bit worried. Maybe I should drop the difficulty down a little bit. I am playing on Hall of Fame. But you guys let me know if you think I should do that. I play this game maybe once or twice a week. I don't have enough time in the game to really be great at it, I think, to play on Hall of Fame difficulty. And I want you guys to still enjoy it. So it's a tough call to make to drop that difficulty down, but I feel like for the series it might be a little bit more entertaining for y'all. It'll definitely be funner for me to play, I think. But leave your feedback down below, and if you think I should change this difficulty up a little bit, as we're about to strike out Alejandro Kirk again. Well, maybe not yet. Kirk has worked this full, and we'll see if we can get him to maybe roll on top of one here. And he's patient. So the inning will extend for at least one more batter. And it's Dalton Varsho. And it looks like this might be Flaherty's last inning, since our manager is saying he's getting tired, but he's pitching very well still. He's only through 93, but it is the opening day game. You don't want to go too hard. So looking to get something going here in the bottom of the 7th. Ryan Mountcastle, the number 3 hitter, steps in. I'm looking to be a little bit more patient. Well, maybe not a little bit more, a lot more patient. See if we can get something that we can turn on. Oh, and not patient enough, I guess. Oof. Let's see if Austin Hayes can do any better. Man, his off-speed stuff has got me just all out of sorts. That's hit hard to second base. Fumbled or bobbled, and that's a base hit for Austin Hayes. Holy cow. And here comes Anthony Santander looking to get something in play. Oh, not like that. In the 8th inning, we bring in Dylan Tate. Last year, 59 games. Pitched a 2.18 ERA and a 1.16 whip. One of our best pitchers out of the bullpen for us last year. I wasn't quite sure about him with that, with his sinker, not really having a dedicated fastball, but he's pitched a lot better than I thought he would. And Kiermaier pops it up to Urias for the first out of the 8th. Here is Whit Merrifield. See if Dylan Tate can knock him out. And grounds into right field. And a base hit. So Toronto has a runner here in the top of the 8th. See if we can keep them from scoring. And he takes off. Adley Rutschman's throw is a little late. They picked the right time to steal. We were throwing a slider. And 0-2 count to Santiago Espinal. And can't quite get him on the first slider. Or the second. Or the third. Or the fourth. Hey, but 5th time's a charm. We get him out. Second out of the 8th. So now we have Bo Bichette looking to get on base, and I don't know if this isn't looking very good for us. Oh, left over the middle, but Urias is there. Solid defender and takes us to the bottom of the 8th. Back of our lineup is hitting, and I mean, hopefully we can get something going here. I don't want this to go into extra innings. Oh, and Gunnar Henderson has launched it. Home run, Gunnar Henderson. That was served up beautifully. It didn't travel very far. And Gunnar Henderson hits his first of the season here on opening day, giving a fist bump to Tommy Lasorda. And with that, the Blue Jays are going to make a pitching change. And they bring in Tim Meza. Last year had a 2-2 record, a 5.67 ERA. So, okay, maybe someone that, you know, we can get an opportunity to get a few hits off of. Looks like he throws a sinker, a slider, and a four-seam fastball. So, not too much movement on his stuff, it looks like. And they have a couple righties in the bullpen getting warmed up. He's off to a pretty decent start, a 2-2 count. Oh, and gets me on the low stuff. And Profar's out. So here's Mateo, 0 for 2. Looking to try and get on base. And it'll be easy if we just have to see pitches like that. Just foul off the sinker. Wow. Oh, and Jorge Mateo. Wow. 2 home runs in the same inning? What has happened? After no production through the first 7 innings, the leadoff batter of the 8th hits a home run. The third batter of the 8th hits a home run. This one went 408 feet. Holy cow. Not known as a power hitter, Jorge Mateo has launched that one into the stratosphere. That was a nice surprise. Rutschman tries to get a hit on the infield, but doesn't have the speed, and he is out. It's only the second out of the 8th. Here's Cedric Mullins, 1 for 3 on the day. Looking to add another hit to that tally. 1-1 count here to Mullins. I can't hang back from the sinker, so guess that'll make it a 1-2 count. Softly to third, and that is out. That leads us into the ninth, where Felix Bautista is coming out to have his first save opportunity of 2024 in the first game of the season. And he starts it out with a strike against Vlad. A little bit high, but hey, I mean, he's hit 100. That's nice to see, right? Ooh, gets him swinging at a nice splitter. And swinging at a slider way out of the zone. Felix Bautista, and on his way to his first save. In there at 100 miles an hour. You just can't catch up to that. He's like the right-handed Aroldis Chapman. Fly it up to Mountcastle, and that should be routine for the second out of the ninth. That one's in there at 101, but way out of the zone to Brandon Belt. Come on, rein it in a little bit, Bautista. I know you're excited for that first save, but you're going to get it anyway, as Mateo is sure out there in right field. And Baltimore has walked out of this one with a win on opening day. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen until those 2 home runs, but Gunnar Henderson and Jorge Mateo, of all players, coming in clutch and getting us a win here on opening day. Not a very good day offensively. Gunnar Henderson, surprisingly, the only person that I got multiple hits with. And Jorge Mateo with a home run. Flaherty did exactly what we wanted him to do. 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, only 3 walks and 2 hits. An amazing day for him. Dylan Tate came up and played great. Bautista gets his first save of the season. Nothing to complain about right there. And we won on opening day, but I wasn't too happy with my performance, so I wanted to get into here with a player lock game with someone that we didn't get a chance to see in the opening day game, and that is Abraham Toro, who is back from injury. Only missed 1 game, luckily. Last season, he had a 255 average. I think he had a 267 in spring training, so coming into this season with, decent expectations. I like to get a decent amount of power, some good average out of him. So we'll see what he brings to the team as a switch hitter, as that is just popped up to shortstop. Not what we want. And here in the bottom of the 4th, the game has gotten a bit away from us. Toronto is now up 5-1. Saw Eric Lauer did have a 3-run home run that he gave up, as that should not have been a strike. But yeah, Lauer did not have a very good start to the game. We're only in the 4th, and he already gave up 5. Well, I don't know if he's still in the game, but hopefully we can try and come back here. And that's hit down the line in left field, and I can't see where it is. Okay, there it is. And we're going to get a double out of this. Abraham Toro. All right. And we get an opportunity here in the field, playing second, no one on. Easy line drive. And another hitting opportunity here in the bottom of the 6th. We've come back a bit, 3-5. But 2 outs here. We'll see if we can maybe get a little something going. Lucky to stay alive that time. Still 1-2. Oh, and got me swinging through. End of the 6th. We have another fielding opportunity, and I'll play it. I'm not sure if we'll get another chance to bat, seeing as how we're about to be in the bottom of the 9th. But just to get another opportunity, hopefully for Toro. Oh, and look at that. We do get an opportunity with Toro to at least end the game on a high note. Facing a new pitcher, Eric Swanson. Looks like he doesn't walk players very much. Very good pitcher. 36 saves last year. So it looks like he was their closer, and actually probably still is their closer, as he's here in the bottom of the 9th with a 2-run lead. Trying to make something happen. Home run would be nice. Oh my goodness. How Oh, just early. Okay. Oh my God, I missed again. And now it's full with Gunnar Henderson on deck. I think 3-2 I want a power swing. He does have more power against the righty. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. But Henderson comes and has a solo home run, a double from Guillorme. And we tie the ball game up in the 9th, it looks like. And we have another chance here in the bottom of the 10th. An opportunity to walk it off with a runner in scoring position and Santander at first. All we need is a single from Abraham Toro. At least I had good swing timing on that one. The pitcher we're facing is Yimi Garcia. 14 pitches in here in the 10th. And now we have a 1-2 count. Toro has a 69 player clutch, so that should replace his contact. So he should have 69 contact against a righty in situations like this. Ooh, I wanted to swing so bad. Can Toro walk it off here in the bottom of the 10th? That's hit. Oh, man, if I would have just regular swung, I think that would have been out. And that would have been a walk-off. But 1 for 5 so far, end of the 10th. And we will sim this out and see what happens here in the last few innings. See if we get another opportunity or not. And we have defeated the Blue Jays 6-5. Looks like Profar had a walk-off there at the end of the game to score someone. Not sure who it was. We had 11 hits on the day. Rutschman went 3 for 4 with a walk. That is what we have him there in the #1 spot for. Looks like home runs from Mullins, Rutschman, and Henderson. And yeah, rough day from Eric Lauer. 2 innings pitched. Wow. Tyler Wells came in, cleaned it nicely. Keegan Aiken did as well. And Dylan Tate gets the W. Oh, wow. It looks like Eric Lauer got a head contusion in that game. So he's going to be out for 1 to 2 weeks. I think we'll keep him active just in case, he's back in a week. But I wasn't too happy with that. So I want to get into another player lock game. And we have Dean Kramer on the mound here in the series finale. But I decided to go with an offensive player. Anthony Santander. He is our DH this year. Last year had a 226. This year in spring training didn't even get, I think he had a 179 if I remember correctly. And right now, through 7 at-bats, 8 at-bats if you want to count the 1 walk he has 0 hits. So looking to get him on the board for a hit today. And hopefully get him out of this slump that he is in to start this season. And that is not what you want out of your DH position. And it doesn't help that I'm just swinging at everything. Oh, man, that sinker. That movement on the outside edge got me swinging. Up here again in the bottom of the 4th. Tie ball game. Nobody on with 1 out. Looking to get that hit. And that is hammered to center field. Looks like there's a play at the wall. Oh my gosh. Oh man, just can't catch a break. Facing Chris Bassett for the 3rd time here. Bottom of the 6th, 1 out. Still a tie ball game with a runner on first. Oof, that was ugly. Mountcastle's in safe. Oh my goodness, on the curveball. Alright, looks like this is going to be our last opportunity in the bottom of the 8th. I'm going to try my best. Oh, wow. Still an opportunity. Even with Mountcastle getting picked off there at first base. But my guess is he's probably not going to give me anything to hit. But if he is, I'm going to hopefully be there to turn on it. Oof, I wanted that so bad. I wasn't that early. It's so rough when you're like right there on it and you just late or just early. What? Come on, Blue. And unfortunately, we don't come through and win that one. The Blue Jays take the final game, but we start out the season 2-1, which is much better than last season. Tony Santillan gets a loss, and I just cannot hit this episode. And that is where we are going to end things today. We end 2-1 on this opening series. We start next time against Milwaukee, and we will see what our scouting is looking like. Y'all let me know if you think that I should maybe drop the difficulty down one. It would drop down to All-Star if you think. I feel like pitching difficulty is fine where it's at. So maybe I should drop hitting difficulty down to All-Star, but you guys leave your feedback down below if y'all think that to make these episodes just, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more offensive production from us. If you enjoyed the episode, how about leaving a like down below? And if you didn't, tell me what you'd like to see in episodes going further. Subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. And leave your feedback down below. I love hearing from you guys and seeing what all you are thinking about this series. But with that said, I hope I see you all next time and have a great day.